it was freaking us out so much, specifically when Harry got on screen. Like, we were already, like, kind of off it. We were like, this is a little bit odd. And then Harry got on screen, and we were like, fuck no. I think there's probably 3 types of Gen Z adults who grew up around like 97 to 2012, within that range. And I think you can really only divide them up by what of the big 3 channels, like kids channels, they watched, between Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network. I think it's pretty easy to decipher who's who. You know, a theater kid might be a little more into Disney Channel, and I think the artsy kids tended to be a little more on the Nickelodeon side. But the fucking weirdos were Cartoon Network hardcore. There's full stop. Nowhere is that more true than in their Halloween annual tradition of airing Miss Scary Godmother's Halloween Spooktacular. Scary Godmother is, quite frankly, like weird kid icon. Not gonna dance around it. Pretty much a gay icon too, queer icon. Incredible. I, as straight guy, don't have to mansplain it to you. I think it's just one of those things where it's the eye test. Like, you walk by and you're like, that's one of them right there. You know, it's hard to explain. And normally I think when people label certain content, especially like kids shows from their youth, as like gay, it can be a stretch at times. They're like, that's gay. Really, it just means it's like kind of either a little strange or just something they like, and then they're also gay. Not Scary Godmother. That shit's super gay. It's about a little girl who is ostracized from her community and is taunted and tormented and not appreciated for the literal fairy princess that she is sent to a spooky place, and is embraced by a wonderful community of oddball strangers. It's Oklahoma City, guys. It's literally the story of Oklahoma City. Frightville, or whatever the fuck they call Halloween Town in this, is Oklahoma City. It's Oklahoma City. It's Haight-Ashbury. It's Boys Town. It's all of these ostracized communities where queer people have built their own utopia. And that is Frightsville. I think it's Frightside. I'm sticking with Frightside on this one. But yeah, this one's really gay.
Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna ditch Hannah.
So it's about a little girl who is ostracized from her idyllic suburban community for not being hip with it.
So we'll scare her, and she'll run home, and then we can do what we want, okay?
And she's ushered over to this mysterious, spooky place by a man literally dressed as the devil, who is her own family. Her own biological family shuns her into a dark place.
Every year, the new kid has to leave candy in the basement of the abandoned spook house to keep the monsters from eating every kid in the world. And guess who's the new kid?
The older kid's plan is to have Hannah, who's going to slow them down. I guess she slowed Jimmy down getting there, so that's why their lead up for it. They just don't want to hang out with her because they're assholes. I don't know. I think Katie can't be a girl's girl on this one. Sorry. Pinning you at like 11? Pinning you 11 as non-feminist? Fucking bad look, though. Ditching your girl Hannah, Katie. Fuck your ass up. Katie's just trying to fuck Daryl the whole time. She's trying to get Katie, after they get rid of Hannah, she's getting rid of Daryl and Jimmy too.
Oh, and the shoeless Joe for 3 kisses.
Okay. Wait. I don't have any kisses. Oh.
She's trying to get a piece of that candy. That sugar-free fucking, that last piece of candy that makes her sick, she wants to get sick. So Katie fucks over her girl Hannah. I don't fucks with it. I don't fucks with Katie. The idea is to get her to go into the spook house, drop off the candy, and then they're gonna, get in her head, do a little psychological warfare, and scare her into going home so that they can have the night to themselves. Which I'm sympathetic to. Like, it sucks having to bring around your cousin, but like, Hannah rules. She's so positive. She's the fucking best. So they introduce her in, and they're whispering horrible things in her ear about monsters and whatnot, like their worm tongue in Lord of the Rings. But Jimmy's doing finger puppets to go along with, like finger puppet shadows to go along with the things that they're telling her. He's incredible at it. Like, I guess you could interpret it as her imagination exaggerating what's going on and making it look scarier than it is. But I like to think that this is just like a secret talent of Jimmy's, and he's just really, really good at finger puppets. It's incredible. And so that's when, you know, they lock her in, which I believe they accidentally lock her in, like the door locks and the big kids don't know it, and then Hannah can't get out, which, again, horribly traumatizing. That's fucked up. But kids are awful. Can't wait to be a teacher. So she's sitting there crying. She's having hysterics. She's going through it like anybody would. And then, like any great moment in art, we're introduced to the best character in this movie. That's when we're introduced to Scary Godmother. This wonderful, fucking crazy thin, oddball. I would pin her as bi. She seems to have too much energy to be a lesbian, quite frankly, which is fine. So I'm going to give her bi, and those leggings are pretty ugly, which our bi friends and family aren't always on the most stylish side of the world. So we're introduced to Scary Godmother after she sort of rescues our protagonist Hannah from her ostracization and bullying, or fucking horrible bullying by the older kids, into a traumatizing state, potentially, into a dangerous, condemned house, dilapidated, is then rescued by her scary godmother, it's Cinderella, not the point. She's invited to join Scary Godmother to her home on the Fright side, which is, as far as I can tell, like, it seems like it's just her house. Like, we never get to explore Fright side outside of her house in either one of the specials. And she has two roommates who are both boys that have no interest in dating her. Fucking cool. We love to see that. So they come to her house, and she's immediately introduced to Scary Godmother's roommate.
Oh, my Scary Godmother. Sorry to be so late, but I just had to get these old bones bleached for the party.
And Scully fucking makes this movie. That guy rules. If there was ever any doubt that Scary Godmother was gay or bi or, you know, jumping around on the spectrum of some kind, Scully's here to put a fucking stop to that questioning, because he's right down the middle gay. He's just a fucking straight shot. He's super loud and theatrical, and he talks with jazz hands constantly. They're not hiding the fact that he's gay either. I mean, like, the first thing he tells Hannah is that he's obsessed with secrets, breaks out in musical numbers, you know, wears a little bow tie. He wears a fun little bow tie. That's not what Caleb Huron would call it. And he literally lives in a closet. So, like I said, they're not hiding this shit. I have a note here that says, the skeleton is gay. He lives in closets and loves secrets. What the fuck do you want me to interpret this as? That's the first of the cast that we're introduced to. And Scully's kind of a bro. He's not presenting any problems. He's constantly interested in solving problems alongside Scary Godmother. Also, there's not really, at this point, there's no more conflict in the movie. Like, once Hannah gets to the Fright side, it's just fucking, everyone's just chilling and having a party. They got the plot out of the way very quickly on this one, and then they were just like, fuck it, monster hijinks, gay monster hijinks. They're going to eat this shit up. So far, it's our characters at the party are Hannah Marie. We love Hannah. She fucking rules. Scary Godmother also rules. Scully, 3 for 3, hat trick. Mbappe, fucking perfect, right? And then we're introduced to maybe the worst character in all of children's fiction, and that is Harry the werewolf.
Thank you, Scary Godmother. I don't mind if I do. Where are those wonderful smells emanating from? The goodie plate, I believe. You won't mind if I just sample the delicacies, do you?
There's really no way to describe Harry other than he fucking sucks. Like, he ruins everything. No one wants him around. No one likes him. No one says a nice thing to him. No one ever is, like, appreciative of his presence. He sucks. He's awful. But like, it's kind of nice. I think it's satisfying because it's pretty rare, I think, to have a situation where a character is awful and everyone responds to that like accordingly. Like, I feel like often it will be like a character sucks and everyone's just like, oh, all right, like, we'll have him around, you know, like, he's not that bad, when he's the worst and we all fucking hate him and want him to get like booted off the show. Or everyone hates a character for kind of no reason. I think Jerry from Parks and Rec is like the peak example of that. But no, Harry could have been one of the names. But no, Harry's the worst. You don't want to get stuck with him like at a party. You don't want to stand next to him at the urinals. Like, you don't want to talk to him on a train. He's a fucking basket case. He's the worst guy you meet at film school. Harry's the worst guy you meet at film school. He's the worst guy you meet at film school. There's no other way to describe him. I fucking nailed it in one there, by the way. He talks in this like silly little affect. He's probably, I feel like he's the only straight one though. And that's not just because he sucks, but he's like, he puts on this like kind of performance like in everything he does. He's very like attention grabbing and not, I don't know, maybe I'm misreading this, but because he sucks so much and he's so bad at everything, he just is the only one that like seems adamantly straight to me. Sorry for all the queer Harry fans out there. He's hard to place. You gotta give Harry that. He's fucking hard to place. Scary Godmother's got a little cat called Boozle. Boozle's not really in it probably as much as they should have been. I don't know if they give Boozle any pronouns during the movie, so I'm gonna stick with they. I don't think they really give Boozle much to do. Or Mr/Mrs/ they them Boozle. We love Boozle. Once they actually get to the Fright Side, it's basically just introducing all the characters, which seems a little odd considering most of the runtime is just dedicated to like hanging out and meeting characters. But then you learn that this was actually intended like as a bit of a backdoor pilot for a series, like to get picked up as a series. Which never ended up happening. But like you kind of get the vibe towards the end of it, like in the last 10 minutes when everyone's been introduced and they're doing their little gimmicks and their dances. There's a fucking incredible dance in this that's like, oof, it's bad animation to its core. I fucking love the dance. The dance is iconic. The dance rules. But you get this like feeling that you're like, fuck, this actually probably could have been something. Like, maybe not like an all-time great cartoon, but like I feel like the chemistry and the ensemble they build is actually like super solid. I haven't read any of the Scary Godmother books. I probably won't. Sorry, guys. But you just get the vibe that like, oh, this could have been something, and it's a little disappointing that this is all that came of it, even though it's terrific and wonderful, and I love it. Now, I actually watched the first half of this with my girlfriend after like 2 drinks. It was freaking us out so much, specifically when Harry got on screen. Like, we were already, like, kind of off it. We were like, this is a little bit odd. This hurts the eyes. It's giving me an uncomfy feeling in my stomach. And then Harry got on screen, and we were like, fuck no. This is awful. This is terrifying. Also, Hannah's the only one with eyes in this movie. Like, obviously, all the monsters have eyes. I think the vampires don't, and the skeleton doesn't as well, but like all the humans have like these beady little fucking animation error looking eyes, and they're difficult to sort of take in. They're freaky as fuck, which again, everything that's bad about this movie just adds to the quality of it. It's one of those, you know, where it's like you get some friends together and you just crack open some Scary Godmother, and it's a fucking terrific time. Another thing that adds to the fucking, like, comedy of this movie and the joy of this movie is the fact that, like, there's not really, like, a present background music. Like, there are, like, musical themes in the movie, like, that, and they're noticeable and they're iconic and, like, they're there. But for, like, most of the movie, when, like, characters are talking and interacting and, like, actual, like, scenes are going on, there's like no music. So whenever there is, it does just kind of like feel like all the musical flares and like like non-diegetic touches and notes. Just feel like a guy off screen like hitting a soundboard at the right time, like it's community theater.
I can get my own Halloween candy. I don't need any baby's help.
Again, the bad stuff adds to the quality. I don't know what to tell you. And then we cut back from the party to the older kids kind of like bumming it and just waiting for Hannah. And it never like occurs to them to go into the house, I don't think, and like solve the problem. They're like, oh, we're waiting for Hannah to come out. And it's like, what the fuck do you think she's doing in there? Like, do you think she's being extra brave? Like, the whole idea of your story was that you give the candy, then you leave. And so at what point in your story would she have stayed inside the house? It doesn't make any sense. These kids are fucking idiots. But, like, I actually do like watching them on screen. They have good rapport. They're funny. This movie's good. I hate to say it. It's good. The dialogue is funny. It's funny in, like, a way that is aged really well, too. But it's very good. It's very kind of dry and sardonic, too. Everyone's just like, what's wrong with you? Why would you think that?
Bert, nobody puts CBs in SUVs these days.
You just left your baby cousin to the mercy of killer monsters on Halloween night, and you're concerned with the additions and upgrades in my cardboard SUV?
It's very funny. Then we're introduced to the vampires, and I actually don't have much to say about the vampires. I do think that they're both just gay and like are only together because they're vampires.
Are you a chocolate-covered fly?
Do not mind if I do.
Not for me, darling. I'm watching my figure.
Like, he's bald and she has bangs. I feel like those two don't mix. I don't think I've ever seen a straight couple where a guy is bald and the other has bangs, and that's just like, I just don't believe it. I think they're staying together because of the kid. Which also brings up another question I have. Orson. Yeah, the dad's name is Max and the kid's name is Orson. I want to guess that's a vampire reference I'm not particularly familiar with. And that's fine. I don't care if that's the case. But if not, strange choice, bad choice. And they're pretty standard vampire fare. The jokes come from that they're old and dead. Ah, ha, ha. Awkward, you know. But Orson's pretty normal, which I think is funny. And it makes me question, one, how long he's been alive. But two, how the fuck does he exist? Like, in the sense of, was he born a vampire? Like, were Ruby and Max married, vampires in love, because vampires don't have sex before marriage, and then they had sex, and then Ruby gave birth to Orson, and he was a vampire, which I'm totally fine with. I don't really care. I think that's how it works in Twilight, too. Or were they all adult age, like 30s and 40s? Orson's like 10 or 11, right? And then they all get bit and they all get turned into vampires and then become vampire royalty. It just presents a lot of questions. And if that's true, they've been alive for like hundreds of years. So has Orson also been alive for hundreds of years? Which is cool. They age really slowly. I don't have a problem with that. It's more just like Orson's in school. So are they just like going to school for hundreds of years? Because if you think about it, if they turn into vampires, are like in their 40s, and then Orson's like 10, 11, 12, that's kind of the vibe he gives, and then like hundreds of years have passed, which they've established through their, like, the characters, like hundreds of years have passed. At that point, the age difference is so negligible by the additional hundreds of years that they've aged that they'd be like peers. You know what I mean? They'd essentially be the same age, grand scheme of things. It'd be like a 40-year-old and a 37-year-old. You know, you wouldn't see one raising the other. I have some problems with it. I fucks with it, though. I don't really care. When Orson and Hannah are meeting for the first time and like discussing, they're doing silly little banter about like, I'm alive and you're dead. That's all it boils down to. There's a fucking like Michael Bay spin cam around them when they're meeting, and it's really funny. It just seems kind of ambitious, and there's not a lot of camera work in the rest of the movie that really matches up with this. I just appreciate that. I think it's funny. And then eventually we're introduced to my main man, Bugaboo.
If I start scaring kids after hours, I'm gonna put in for overtime.
Which Bugaboo could be straight. I actually like the idea of Bugaboo being the only straight one because he's so chill. Like, just like token straight guy. I always had somewhat of a fancy dream of like being co-opted and taken in by like a gaggle of gays. Just like accepted into like a little large friend group of weirdo gay kids. Still have it. So I live vicariously through Bugaboo. But the best part of Bugaboo is that he's kind of just like his whole vibe is he's like, oh, I'm here and I'm having a good time and I don't complain much. And Hannah's terrified of him, which he doesn't really help because he chases her around the house. And it's hard to watch because the animation's a little fucked up.
Now calm down, kid. Calm down.
Help me!
What? I'm not doing nothing.
Bugaboo, you're scaring her worse! Oh, no!
So he does look a little odd and scary. But he's super chill and he's super fun. He's just a lovely big old sweetheart. I may be big and scary, but I'm just a fluffy teddy bear at heart. You know, type shit. You know, that's Hannah's main growth as a character is learning to like Bugaboo and learn that maybe gay people aren't that scary. Who would have thought? I love like blue collar cartoon characters. Like I think the best, like when I watch like anything Toy Story, I love like Ham and Mr. Potato Head and Slink because they're just like making snide remarks and like chill about everything, and they kind of have this, I don't know, like blue collar feel. They would have been they would have drank at the bar from Cheers, which I think is called Cheers the bar. They just have like that chill kind of grown up vibe that like contrasts with the bigger personalities in a kid's show. And Bugaboo does actually have that where he's like, yeah, scaring's just like my job, you know, like he's a plumber or something. I fucks with it. I love it. I love Bugaboo. He's a great character name too. Rolls off the tongue. This comes to the point in the movie where nothing's happening. So Harry eats everything. Again, I guess that's just like a straight guy thing to me. He eats everything. He ruins the whole party. They're mad as hell. And then he's like, why don't we order some pizza? They order the pizza. There's some jokes in it. None of them are memorable or important. But the part that is really funny is the pizza guy shows up and he's also a skeleton. It's the same model as Scully, but, you know, whatever. We don't give a fuck. The pizza parlor's called Diablo Brothers, and they show up and they're like, it'll be like $200 for all these pizzas, for 12 pizzas, because they left Harry to order it for some reason. Or you can sign your soul away, which is so fucking funny.
Of course, you could sign for it.
No. Sorry. My soul is worth more than 12 pizzas.
That's got to be coming up with like as an option for Klarna payments. And so she's looking for a way to pay for the pizzas, which now that I'm describing this out loud, this is kind of like not a great subplot for your Halloween special where they're just like, we have to get some food and then we have to order some pizza. And, we can't afford the pizza, so now we have to do some hijinks to get some money. And it's like, I can definitely see this where this was going to be like a backdoor pilot for them just doing shenanigans year round, I assume. But for like a dedicated Halloween special, it's kind of like, what are we doing here, guys? But it does produce some genuinely funny joke. For example, Scary Godmother asks if Scully has any money.
Scully, you got any money?
No, I left it in my other pelvis.
Fucking hysterical. Great joke. Scully's kind of like what Matt Baum described as a gay sniper. Like, he just sits there and makes his little snide remarks and then is like gay and fun and everyone loves him. No complaints here. Awesome character design. Like a Paul Lynde type. So he makes that great joke. And then they go, and their idea is that Bugaboo spends so much time under the bed that he probably has a bunch of money in his fur, which would make sense kind of if he like was under a couch. But I feel like we're not losing $50 bills under our beds that often, right? Unless he's just robbing them, which is gangster, and would explain how he makes money from the gig. They figure out that he's got some money in his like armpits and his fur and stuff. They pull it out, and it's $50 bills. As an American kid watching this on TV, I had assumed that the money was orange because it was like spooky money because they were in Halloween town land. No, it's just Canadian. It's just the Canadian $50 bill, which is funnier somehow to me. I don't know. I love it. Also, just like kind of out of nowhere, Max, who's been, again, alive for hundreds of years, it just delivers like the funniest joke of the special.
So other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you enjoy the show?
Anyway,
The comedic timing on it is impeccable. So the plan is, at some point they're like, oh, it's pretty late. We should probably get the young girl we've kidnapped home. She's like, oh, but like all the big kids are there. What are we gonna do? Like, you know, and they're like, oh, we'll play a trick on them. And they do. They're all the monsters are there, and then the big kids come in, and all the monsters are hiding except for Orson, who's like, hi, I'm a vampire. And they're like, they think it's a costume, of course. They don't question why he's in there or where Hannah is initially. They're just congenial and like friendly. Jimmy delivers a hilarious line.
I'm Jimmy. I'm the devil. Happy Halloween.
Fucking incredible. This scene's fine. It's filled with all this like typical gags you'd kind of expect from it. They're all kind of just playing into the whole like, ooh, we're scary monsters thing. Except for Scully delivers a musical number.
You'll be grilled, you'll be ate. Gonna serve you for kids on a plate.
Yeah. And then Harry, being the worst one as always, he's like, his whole thing is he's just like kind of phoning it in. He's like, oh, I'm too important for this. And then he sees that Daryl's a piece of candy, and he fucking murders him.
Candy!
He just pounces on the child and actively tries to murder him. And this is the only time Harry's good, but he's awesome here. So you know, they go through their whole rigmarole. They run downstairs to hide from the monsters that are upstairs, but it's dark out, it's dark down there. They're sitting there and they have eyes. Like I complained before about them not having eyes, and all of a sudden they do have eyes so that you can see them in the dark as cartoon characters. And I complained about them not having eyes, and once they have eyes, it's way fucking worse. It looks horrible. The plan is to just scare the kids. The monsters are just monstering it up, and they're scaring the big kids. They're traumatizing them. And then the plan is to have Hannah show up with her flashlight and kill the monsters, scare them away like Luigi's Mansion. So the plan goes perfectly. Hannah kills the monsters, badass, like fucking Ripley from Alien. Sick. The older kids run away. They're outside, can't really hear. They're not in hearing distance. So Hannah says her goodbyes to the scary godmother and her gaggle of gays, her absolute crew of queers.
thank you, everybody.
Here, Hannah.
Will I ever see you again?
Anytime you want to come back to the Fright Side for a visit, just use this key in any door. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Scary Godmother.
There's a sweet goodbye. She gives her a key that inserted into any door will take her over to the Fright Side, which is a sweet, thoughtful gift, except for when you consider that no doors have keyholes anymore and haven't since like the 50s. So functionally it's useless. Like, go through any house you've ever been in. Go through your grandmother's house, your great-grandmother's house. They don't have keyholes to insert actual keys into. So I don't know how that's going to work, but fuck it, we ball. It ends with all the monsters brushing themselves off, and there's one more little zinger, one more little dig at the fact that Harry's the fucking worst, and they beat his ass over the credits, and it's incredible.
So,
I could do it better.
any pizza left? What? No, it's hungry work. I've built up quite an appetite. It's not easy scaring people, you know. Oh, no, please don't come any closer.
But I just wanted to say that the thing about Scary Godmother that makes it special is just that there's nothing special about it. A wonderful little piece of 3D animation that was worked hard on, but it was no different than anything else that was on TV at the time. It's a classic Halloween special, but once people my age forget about it, going in the dustbin. That's fine. It's okay. Things go. Things change. It's just nice to remember. I mean, that is the literal biological function of nostalgia. It is nice to remember, but it's nice to remember. I'm not going to forget it anytime soon. So, thanks for watching. I hope I make more of these. All right. Happy Halloween.